Hello boys, girls, piggies, slaves, ladies and haters. I am adding you also onto my list of recognition of these videos. So I'm back in England for a little bit. I'm seeing friends and family. I'm actually staying with some friends at the moment and I'm just going on a nice walk. I'm keeping up my fitness, keeping everything all nice, because you know what it's like when you come back to England, you want to eat all the foods. So I'm doing my best not to do that. Anyway, I've been thinking about doing this video for a long time now. Obviously over the years I've been very vocal about the bullshit that I've experienced in FemDom, and I don't think enough people talk about it. I know that I have a voice, let's say, that talks about a lot of different things, and I don't really see many other women doing that, talking about things that affect us all as human beings. So for me, I'm going to talk about the women in FemDom properly. I've said things over the years. I want to talk about how actually bad they are in FemDom, in female domination. I've actually found them the hardest to deal with, which is so shit. It's really shit. The men have actually been respectively easier because you just tell them what to do and they do it, or if they don't, on to the next one. But the women in the scene, my God, the relentlessness, the same ones that preach sisterhood are the ones that are the fucking bitches who will not stop until they bully somebody out of this community. So if I was a weaker person, I would have left years ago, but I didn't. I was bullied relentlessly for 8 years. 8 years for stupid shit. Start stupid shit. And we have women in the community who are actually murdering or driving their submissives to suicide. But you don't ever see this kind of vitriol against people. They ignore that. They tend to target the people who they seem to be threatened by, I will say, or people or women who are making money, because there is this belief that there is one pot of money for everybody. And so what they do is they really try to hammer them so badly, beat them until they are this small, because they're not making money themselves. So what they think is, oh my God, so I'm not making money myself. What about if I just try and take some money away from that Dom there who seems to be doing really well? I've experienced this for many years, and so I recognise the pattern when I see it happening again. And I've seen it happening again over the last sort of week or so. As I said, I've wanted to speak about this more in depth for some time, but I've just been, moved away, happy. And for me, from the very beginning, when I first started FemDom, which is 10 years ago now, 10 years, I've always made it clear that I don't support bullies. I've been very open about this. I made a blog post many years ago on a website saying that there's bullying in FemDom. People back then didn't even believe me. They didn't believe me. They thought I was talking crazy. No. See, people are so focused on the fantasy that they actually forget that we are human beings. And it's definitely a lot more easier these days to weaponize your follow account and make people believe any kind of narrative you want based on some stupid things that somebody has done in the past, and really holding it against them like you've never made a mistake before in your life. This is a problem with narcissists. When you give narcissists a platform, this is what they do. They're very insecure people. They feel like their negativity needs to be corroborated by other people who also feel just as badly about themselves. And they will take the tiniest thing, the tiniest mistake that anyone's ever made, and turn it into the biggest mistake that's ever been made in the history of mankind. And it's the lengths that some of these women will go to. The lengths, the obsession, the addiction into really trying to destroy someone's character based on your own fears and your own security about yourself. The things that you don't do well and that somebody does exceptionally well does not make it a reason for you to act like an absolute dickhead. I've seen it, I've experienced it. oh, but you know what? I'm just going to unfollow that person now because I just don't agree with what they're saying. And I knew that person was a bully. Like, what kind of bullying have you actually seen? You know, I was called a bully because 10 years ago, I was the only Miss Fox. There was a Mistress Fox, but I worked really hard to distinguish myself in being a Miss Fox. And I even spoke to that Mistress Fox about it, and she said she was cool. When other foxes started to come into the community, I messaged them and said, do you know what, it would be a really good idea for SEO that you have a different name. Oh my God, Miss Fox is bullying me. She is the worst human being on the planet. Like, really, the fragility of women in the scene is a fucking joke. It's a joke. It's pathetic. So I've experienced lots of different things. That's one. The name calling. The fact that you make a mistake. I said once when I was doing my free FemDom guide, a guide that I created for free to give out free advice, that porn was free, because I genuinely thought that porn was free. I saw so much of it online. I saw porn producers giving out their content for free as well, and I said porn was free because FemDoms were giving their time and attention away for free, which we know is like one of the number one cardinal sins of FemDom. Don't give your time and attention away for free. So I said, why are you giving away your time for free? Porn is free. And actually at the same time, they were doing pornographic content and claiming it to be FemDom, and it's not the same thing. So, oh my God, Miss Fox is a horophobe. She hates women. Jesus Christ. Like, how some women go from such extremes to me, I can't relate. I can't understand it. My mind does not go there. My mind does not think like a tiniest thing that someone said, that it's their whole philosophy and their whole being. But I know why someone wouldn't do that, and they do it on purpose. They purposefully, it's not a mistake that they're doing this, they're purposefully trying to make somebody out to be the worst human being on the planet just so they feel better. I cannot relate to that. All I've ever done is defended myself against people who make it their goal to see me as a bad guy in some way, and yeah, it's affected me mentally. It really did affect me mentally. No human being is impervious to being hurt. We all get hurt. I dealt with it for 8 years, and it was only until the police got involved in my cases that the bullying and harassment stopped. So what I'm seeing now is one Dom weaponizing her follow account and picking up these little mistakes that someone else has made and saying, yeah, well, I've been saying this for so many years about this person. Bitch, why are you so obsessed? Why are you obsessed with someone else and what someone else is doing for that many years? Why is it your job to try and pick up some little things that someone has done and put it together, and make a case file about somebody? Because now they've moved on, they've become a journalist, they're making money, and you're making them out to be an absolute toxic person when I see you as being the toxic person. And anyone involved is always the toxic person or the insecure person. Oh yeah, I really thought that about that person. I thought that they seemed shady. How? Do you know them? Do you actually know them? Or you're just basing a few tweets or things that they've said online about, the industry? Remember, FemDoms do not have training. They don't have training. They don't have mentors. They don't have mentorship. It doesn't exist. Yes, we get advice, we get given advice, but nobody is coaching us through every single step of the way. We learn and grow online. So if you're going to take every single mistake that someone's made and turn that into a whole case study of someone's being, you're obsessed. You're obsessed, and you need to focus on yourself. I have seen countless women be bullied out of FemDom and FemDom online because others have taken it upon themselves to dox them, release their personal information, have just made them feel so shit about themselves and the, again, mistakes that they've made. It's a joke. It's a joke. And I think the most pathetic thing about it really is that the people who start calling out others on their shit, when they're supported as well, go, as I said earlier, like, I just knew that about her. No, you didn't. You just want your negative feelings about that person echoed. And that's it. That's all you ever want. That's all everybody ever wants. It's just like, yes, they validated my bad feelings about that good person. Vi made some mistakes. She apologised for them. She learned from them. What more do you want? You want her to quit. That's what you want. You want her to quit so all of her submissives come to you because you can't get your own. That's all it is every single time. She's on hiatus now. This is what you wanted. This is what you want from every single woman who's doing well. You want her to quit. That's what you want. You want us to quit. We don't quit. We take a break and we come back. And when we come back stronger, because whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, your hatred and your wanting her to fail is the reason she will succeed. I have literally taken every single shit thing that's said about myself and turned it into my fuel. And guess what? I'm a fucking millionaire now. And I don't even live in the UK anymore. I've escaped all of that. But if the girls who had bullied me hadn't bullied me, maybe I'd still be in this cold, dark, wet country. Maybe I would be. But I literally made that my ammunition to get the fuck out of here. I did. I am not okay with anybody spending so much time trying to berate somebody. Yes, there is calling people out on their bullshit, and we should always do that. Always do it. But when you're starting to make whole bloody novels, pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of tweets, I know what you're doing. I know how desperate you are to discredit that person. It's desperation. Where do you have the time? If you're that busy, where do you have the time? When do you have the time to really make somebody look so awful? So awful. People who are busy don't have time to do that. I've called out plenty of bad practices in the past, and I always will do when I see it. But I won't make pages of tweets about somebody. No, I won't take like screenshots about them and go, oh, they said this and oh, they said that, and all that. Especially if it's got nothing to do with me. If it's about me, yeah, I've got my receipts. I've got plenty of receipts. But when shit has nothing to do with me, and that person has never offended me, or never made me feel bad, or I've never worked with them, why would I have so many tweets about them if I wasn't obsessed? You girls are obsessed and you don't want to admit it. You're obsessed with someone you don't like because she represents everything that you want to be and you are not. I will always stand up against bullies, always. And if we were in the same country and same place, I would say it to your face. There was one time I went to an event years ago in England, and I'd said something, I'll say the name, about Jasmine Mendez. We all know about this story if you've been around for a long time. She created FemDom lessons, and she used them as a way to promote her MTV documentary. She was in an MTV documentary. In that documentary, she'd said, well, in those tweets, she'd said, if you join my FemDom class, I'll make sure you get on MTV. The MTV thing had already been filmed. And it came out about those classes that all she was telling girls to do who were paying to join, all she was saying was make clips and tweet, and then just trying to do group training sessions. That doesn't teach anyone anything about FemDom at all. And I called that out. Oh, and of course, Miss Fox is a hater. She's a bully. And guess who was right? Me. And that's the burden sometimes of being right. A lot of the time is that people don't like others being right about things. They want to be right about things. They only see things from their narrow-minded perspective. I see everything. Also, at this point in time, I should tell you that my skin is really bad at the moment because I'm doing some acne treatment. That's why. Look at this big guy. So, yeah, I just kind of wanted to say a little bit about FemDom bullying, how shit it is, how I see it, how more people need to call that shit out, more people need to defend the women who are the actual victims of bullying, because I'm telling you, from my perspective, at one point I considered ending my life over it, and I've said this inadvertently in another video I did, but I genuinely thought about ending my life because the bullying was so bad. And we see this now with a lot of people who have more prolific profiles as women. They are bullied relentlessly because they're good at what they do. And I will say, mostly women of colour. And I hate that term because it means that to say that we have colour and white people don't have colour. But it's always seems to be, I mean, you can even look at it celebrity-wise, Naomi Osaka, Venus Serena Williams, most prolifically and most outstandingly, Meghan Markle. These women have done nothing but be beautiful and successful. And that always seems to be a constant problem in the Western world. If you're a woman with a little bit of melanin in your skin, you can make one mistake and you're the world's worst human being. Despite all of the good things that you've done for people, despite all of the success you've had, despite all of the kindness, despite wanting to share your wealth of experience with others for free, while the others get to sit there, do absolutely nothing for communities, nothing for other people, sit there on their goddamn high horse and preach that they're the better person. Don't buy into that bullshit. This is coming straight from Miss Fox, straight from the mouth. But anyway, I hope you're all well. I'm well, and I can't wait to go back to my house in the sun. I can't wait. But yeah, this shit has bothered me for many years, and I am showing my support. And I've said before, if anyone is getting bullied, please do message me. I have love and support for you, and I really do think that there needs to be more said about this stuff and more support given for those who are actually the victim of bullying and not the bully. Until next time, bye. I think one of the funniest revelations to me to watch is like, she's such a bad person because she deletes her tweets. She is awful because she deletes her tweets. There are several reasons why people delete tweets. I've deleted tweets before because why? When shadow banning is prolific, some of the advice is to delete tweets. That's the advice. I've deleted tweets as well because I don't want to be involved in any kind of nonsense. So I delete tweets, but I keep a record of everything in case I need stuff. So don't think that someone deleting tweets is a bad thing. I've seen my bullies have many different social media accounts, many different Twitter accounts, because they've all been shut down by Twitter for bullying. If somebody chooses to use their real name, why is that any of your business? There's a reason why someone does that. And if you don't have any experience or knowledge as to why that person uses their real name, it's not up to you to comment. And you have absolutely no information to suggest that that is also the advice that she's giving to other people. Oh, that makes her such a bad dom because she's using her real name. People do whatever they want to do, but what they're teaching may not be the same thing. Unless you've had lessons, you have no place to comment.